I wish my son was found dead. He was kidnapped in 1999. Last night he came home. Laying at the foot of Levi's bed waiting for her call, my eyes became heavy. I began fading in and out, and right as I was about to cross over into unconsciousness, that's when I heard the whisper. "Don't call mommy." A loud crash came from downstairs. Levi was gone. The body's reaction to fear caused by an external source in the moment of crossing into unconsciousness is unparalleled. The slowing of the heart rate met with fight or flight dropping by to gift you an adrenaline dump is a speedball that would make a seasoned junkie weary. It's a feeling that's alarming enough to make you wonder if you briefly took death's hand on the dance floor. I've never been a go investigate the odd sound kind of guy. Waking up to the loud crash from downstairs and Levi suddenly missing from bed made me wonder just how badly a leg would break jumping from a second-story window. The second question was how fast and far could I run on it? The audience watching from my subconscious screamed and pleaded with me to run away as I walked down the hall to head downstairs. With each step I took down the staircase, I stopped to listen. Although I didn't hear anything, I was more concerned about Levi hearing me. His return felt like a wild animal was let loose in my house, something with unpredictable thoughts and movements. I've seen videos and pictures of parents reuniting with their lost children, videos full of hugs and tears of joy. It kills me that I cannot be one of them. Something about Levi made me want to watch him, study him. When I reached the bottom step, I peeked my head around the walls to scan the lower level. Nothing seemed to be out of place. I stepped down onto the floor and outside the concealment of the stairway walls. I was committed. My teeth were going to crack at any moment under the pressure of my clenched jaw. The tension in my body stiffened my stride as I forced myself to move forward. I walked into the kitchen and my body responded as if Arctic temperatures burst through my home. The kitchen was destroyed. Every cabinet and drawer were wide open. Food was all over the floor, crystallized with broken glass. Standing in the middle of the chaos was Levi, mouth agape, panting heavily, and staring at the ceiling. "Levi?" I asked. The word coated my tongue with a thick layer of rust. It was the first word I said to him in 25 years. I wasn't sure if I liked the sound of it coming from my mouth. Levi was unresponsive, his gaze fixed to a single point on the ceiling. His chest violently quaked as the cadence of his panting escalated. Like father, like son, I was helpless. I traipsed through the field of glass and put my hands on Levi's shoulders. He was ice cold. I called his name, trying to snap him out of whatever was stealing his attention. I shook him, hoping it would bring him back. My voice went hoarse as I yelled into his little ears. I pulled him close to me, his soft body up against mine, bringing me back to days of laughter and smiles when he would nestle himself between the safety of Kelsey and me. His dilated eyes went straight through me, staring at a great distance. Then the panting stopped. His pupils constricted and fixed onto mine. "Buddy," I said. He opened his mouth wide, and from somewhere deep inside him, the most horrific scream reverberated off the walls and burrowed into my ears. My kneecaps came unglued, and my body recoiled right before I momentarily lost all motor functions. I collapsed, crashing into the shards of glass scattered on the floor. The lacerations to my exposed skin served as a welcome distraction from Levi's mania. The pain dampened the sound. I lied on the floor, terror-stricken by Levi's screams, the shards of glass working deeper into my skin. With each scream Levi belted out, I moved 1 inch back, the drops of blood pooling underneath me assisting my glide. One after the other, the screams became an endless loop, and for each one, the shriek became louder. My body was overstimulated. The deafening of the screams. The glass in my back. The terror on Levi's face. I came undone. "Stop, goddammit. Stop it. Stop." My screaming challenged Levi's in a momentary lapse of sanity. My whole body convulsed as I shouted and begged for the sideshow to draw its curtain. The sides of my fists beat the floor, adding to the collection of cuts across my body. Levi became blue in the face, his eyes starting to fade. His screams turned to breathy howls as his vocal cords began to give way. A wobble developed in his posture and Levi crashed onto the floor. I continued to lay on the floor for I don't know how long. An emotional levee broke in my brain, and I burst into tears. I was hysterical. I had always hoped Levi would return and continue adding blessing to my life, but from the moment he arrived, his presence had only compounded the nightmares surrounded by his disappearance. I was tired and my body was in a great deal of pain. I was breaking. I had no idea what to do, no course of action, nobody to call. It felt like the only options I had were to call the authorities, contact a doctor, or get fucking priest over to the house. All I wanted was the best for Levi, and each one of those people would inevitably pick up the phone and open their mouths wide enough for reporters to start prying their unwanted noses back into my life. The circus would return to town and cast me as the main event, with 24-hour media coverage ruining my already ruined life. I didn't want to become the next Netflix special. Although Levi had come back into my life by way of miracle, I had never felt so alone. I had nobody I could trust and could turn to in my desperate need of help. I needed Kelsey. There was no way she would know what to do in this situation, but we could be lost together. We could figure everything out as a family again. Levi deserved to have mommy and daddy back in his life after being away for so long. I scooped Levi off the floor, placed him on the couch, and spent the next hour picking glass out of my arms and the parts of my back I could reach. During that time, I relentlessly called Kelsey, sent texts, and left voicemails. She didn't answer any of my calls. I wasn't ready to be a single father. I could see it in my mind. Kelsey, Levi, and me sitting in front of the fireplace on Christmas Eve watching movies and sharing stories. Laughter at the dinner table. Kelsey and I, arms around each other, listening to Levi tell us about his day at school. It was beautiful. After so many years of living in a dark shadow cast by grief, I finally had something to look forward to. My cheeks, no longer used for carrying the weight of a smile, became sore by the small grin the thoughts provided. Kelsey lived 5 hours away. I needed to get to her. Levi laid stiff on the couch. It was going to be a long drive for him. The longest drive he had ever been on was the one a month, 45-minute trek to his grandmother's, which always proved to be a grueling experience for him. My God, what she would have done to see her grandbaby just one more time. I went to Levi's room to pack him a light bag for the trip, just enough to get him through a few days at Kelsey's. Our first family outing could have been going out together to buy him a new, up-to-date wardrobe. I had no idea what kids were currently into and didn't want him to feel alienated among his peers. When I opened his drawer, the musty smell from his Power Rangers and Nickelodeon shirts hit me in the face. The nostalgia had me choking back tears. Levi called me from downstairs. He said one word. Dad. That was me. I was a dad again. I ran downstairs to see him. Hey buddy, how are you feeling? I asked. Good. I'm hungry, said Levi. Are you? Okay, well, this is what we are going to do. We are going to go on a little trip, and we will pick up some food along the way. How does that sound? We're going to go to see mommy. She's going to be so excited to see you. I don't think we should do that. I didn't entirely disagree with him. Mentally, I knew I was stronger than Kelsey, and the sight of Levi could have very well cost her a year's wage in therapy. Her mental health may have gotten far worse before it ever got better, but family always prevails, and I would have been her pillar of support every step of the way.